Hey, what's up everyone and welcome to the video. So as promised, here is the Year 6 Season 4 competitive 1v1 tier list. So this 1v1 tier list is based off the highest level of the game and without parry flash. Joining me are Antonio and Living, two of the best players in the game that are currently in an undefeated team. Both of these guys stream, so you can click on their Twitch links in the video description below and drop them a follow. If you watch them play the game, you'll quickly come to realize that these guys really know what they're talking about at the highest level. So this is a long one, guys, so go grab yourself a drink, sit back and relax, and if you have any questions at all, if you don't understand anything, I will do my best to answer questions below in the comments, so feel free to ask. Alright, enjoy guys.
Guess we can start from the S plus tier then.
Alright, so yeah, is that how you want to start it from top to bottom? Or would you rather go bottom to top?
I think start from top from bottom, it's better.
Yeah.
It's because the top characters are easier to tell.
So just to start off, this is the 1v1 tier list without flash. So who's in the top spot then for this one to start?
Well, with the recent patch note, right? With the recent changes to Valkyrie and Tiandi, these two characters, got insanely buffed, insanely reworked, I would say, to a certain degree. Valkyrie is way too strong right now. She has tracking, she has damage, she has pressure, she has external pressure, she has feats, she has all sorts of things. But feats and tracking kinda matter more in 2v2s and 4v4s. For 1v1s, what only matters is she has like an unreactable mix-up, first of all, that does 20 damage or 24 damage like maximum. So it's like no matter what, if you try to make a read, even with a dodge attack, a simple dodge attack, try to bait out some shield tackle from just an empty dodge, and the Valkyrie doesn't fall for it, and she sits still and waits for your dodge attack. You are, even if you land your dodge attack, you're not gonna win the trade anyway, because like Valkyrie, no matter what, like if you land your dodge attack, you get 13, maximum 15 damage. Okay, Valkyrie always gets 20 damage if she makes the right trade, and the likely of Valkyrie getting the right trade every time is, I think, if we put out of 5 attempts, I think Valkyrie gets it like at least 2 times. Even if you get 3 dodge attacks that are correctly, you're not gonna match up, because 40 damage and you do maybe 39 damage. So like with 2 good reads, Valkyrie got more damage than you at the end. And if she gets a GP, of course, she gets 24 damage at the end. So like she has everything. The zone is amazing. The zone is like one of the best zones in the game right now in terms of tracking, in terms of speed as well, because 500 mass zones that zone is like amazing. Like she has insane hitboxes as well. Yeah, the Valkyrie has no recoveries. Like Sweep has no recoveries. The sidelights have no recoveries. The chain finish, I think the heavy finish is the only one with decent recoveries, I guess, because you can actually get
as well.
Neutralize. Oh, I see. But yeah, like she has the best offense that the game has ever seen, I think, in ages. Because like, maybe I think Shinobi's tackle, Shinobi's tackle was way stronger, because it was unpunishable. But yeah, like in the current state of the game, I think Valkyrie has the best offense. And like she can only be matched by Tiandi. It's the only character that can be matched there. She's an S plus tier in point ones, definitely.
S plus, right? Okay. So you're saying she definitely needs to be tuned down, and she needs some sort of little nerf.
I mean, she needs like tracking nerfs. She needs some recovery changes on some attacks, because she has close to no recoveries.
Yeah.
The shield tackle needs to be reduced in terms of damage and tracking, because the damage is 20 damage for a read that's way too strong. Like having doing 13 damage will still be very strong, because like it is still a strong full block, because you get a guaranteed you can even get a guaranteed GBs in certain attacks, because you can just cancel the full block as soon as the attack lands and you get a free GB. I don't remember. I think it's not patched yet. I hope it's gonna get patched though, because that's it's very strong. If they reduce the damage of the shield tackle, they should probably remove that as well, because then people will just sit there and get a free block and get 24 damage in every time. And that will be another thing that will have to be changed, and that will take time, and you might as well just remove everything that is too strong in the same patch. but yeah, definitely some tracking nerfs, some damage nerfs on shield tackle, and some recovery nerfs.
Okay. All right. So next one. Who is the next one up next to Valkyrie?
Well, the closest one to Valkyrie that can possibly that has a chance to possibly even win against Valkyrie is like Tiandi, which is the only character with a possible close even matchup to Valkyrie. He's like the only character that he has a very strong zone, because like the zone he has right now with chain link into the kick makes it so like you cannot buffer dodge attack against it, because if he buffers GB after feinting, buffering the feint on the kick, you cannot dodge attack. You
it catches
only,
him,
you have only two choices: you either dodge or you sit still, maybe light from neutral. But if he lands a kick, it doesn't matter, because you can stop it, which is a strong mix-up. He also got like the Orochi mix-up, the undodgeable light into bash, and basically with the same recoveries. And he's way stronger than Orochi's mix-up, because he has also 400 MS lights to chain with. So like he's a way more powerful version than Orochi, and I've not seen people complaining a lot about Tiandi, which that scares me a lot. Like that says
it is pretty strange, like, isn't it? Yeah.
It feels weird not seeing people complaining about such a mix-up, especially because that mix-up got removed from the game because people were complaining about Orochi. They were complaining about the dodge light spam and the kick being too safe. Now we have the same thing with Tiandi, but I don't see people complaining about Tiandi.
Doesn't make sense.
It's way too funny.
It's kind of weird, but yeah, the Tiandi is like, since Valkyrie has the ability to dodge with her guard on the same direction as the dodge occurs. So if you dodge left, the guard goes left. Tiandi has the pressure that will the pressure with the dodge light mix up that Valkyrie is scared of, because you have to constantly react to the mix up, and it's not easy to react to the mix up consistently, because it takes a very low reaction time, or a choice reaction time, to consistently dodge it and not being punished. And you also have to consistently block 400 MS chain lights, which it's everyone knows that it's not easy to do. It is possible, but it's not easy to do, and it's very annoying. It can chip you down very easily. Like the kick is also very safe. In fact, I think the kick should also be reused. Like the kick should be nerfed in terms of like recoveries. I think also what they did to Orochi was like nerf the recoveries and nerf the cancel recoveries. What they should do with Tiandi is the same thing, but not as hard as they did with Orochi, because I can cope with the fact that Orochi doesn't have undodgeable lights anymore, because they added like more pressure external wise with these side heavies. They have more hitboxes, they have more tracking, and he's supposed to be more like a team fight character now, more than a 1v1 character, and I'm okay with it. But Tiandi, he can keep the dodge light. He can keep it the undodgeable light. Okay, I guess they want to keep it. They want to introduce the move because they want to have some unique mechanics, and I'm okay with it. But they need to reduce the cancel recoveries, because they need to increase the recovery cancel timing by at least 100 ms, because he's way too safe, and he like the pressure he makes with that mix up, and the how much he can be punished, it doesn't match. Like he always wins that matchup, that trade, or like that mix up at the end, because even if he gets punished with a light, then he goes back into the mix up, and he also has a 400 ms lights afterwards. It doesn't have a 400 ms light, which means it's also harder to punish him on a bad read from him. If for example you buffer dodge the bash, right, he can chain afterwards and you cannot GB him. It's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but he has also. I think that chain light, that light after with bash should be 500 ms and not 400 ms, because you already have a lot of options to be safe and not being scared of not being scared of being punished very consistently, because you have cancel recoveries, you have dodge lights, you have dodge heavies, you have you have a heavy afterwards, you have you have all these options. I don't see the reason having a 400 ms lights after the kick, after the bash.
Makes sense. I'm not surprised to see these two at the very top. I don't think anyone else will be either, to be honest. Yeah. So you would put him S tier, obviously, yeah. That's a dumb question.
Just below Valkyrie. And then like all the other characters, like all the S tier characters that used to be there, like Shaman, like Raider, like Aramusha, they are still, I still feel like they're S tier, but the problem is they cannot match against Valkyrie, or I think they can match against Tiandi still, Like I think they have a chance of beating Tiandi,
Yeah.
but they don't have a chance of standing against Valkyrie. Valkyrie is way too strong. Like Valkyrie is the GOAT right now, the GOAT of run. Like if you want to play and win 1v1s easy, play Valkyrie against any matchup. Like even if you don't react, Valkyrie is the character that basically wins against any matchup. Like unless you play on console and you find a conqueror that just bash spams you and you don't know how to make like a a good read, like you basically melt every character. Every character in the game you melt. My problem is gonna come around Shugoki because I don't know what to say about Shugoki anymore.
Oh yeah, I know Living like Shugoki. I fought it and got destroyed by it many times. Right. All right then. Moving on to the third one then. Who's behind these two guys?
Well, I guess I can just put the three S tier characters that used to be like the three best duelists, which are Aramusha, Raider, and Shaman. Those three characters, I feel like no matter how you put them, all of three of them have a losing matchup against Valkyrie. That's a fact. Like none of these three characters can win. All three of them lose as badly. Maybe some, maybe one of them can get maybe one round more against Valkyrie in a first to 10. But the result is still the same. Valkyrie stomps them. Like it can be a 9-1 matchup, it can be an 8-2 matchup, even a 7-3 maybe sometimes. But it's kind of extended, right?
A massive difference, isn't it?
Yeah, but the problem with that is like Raider has Valkyrie has double the amount of ranges than Raider has with his zone. So like even if Raider wanted to apply pressure from very far away, he couldn't because Valkyrie would outmatch his range. Those three characters, Shaman, Ramusha, and Raider, I always said that those characters are very close to each other. They have a 5-5 matchup against each other. Like Shaman has an even matchup against the Raider, and she has an even matchup against Ramusha. Same thing for Ramusha with Raider and Ramusha with Shaman. Blah 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 blah. So like those three characters are like the elites of the 1v1 the scenario. Sadly though, they're getting outmatched by a way too strong version of two characters, such as Tiandi and Valkyrie. But with the with the right nerfs to these two characters, they will probably be back at their top level spot where they deserve to be.
Any order of these three then, or
no? It's like whatever. You can put them as you want. Just Tiandi is definitely top of S tier though, and Valkyrie is S plus tier, as we said already. So
I'll put a little S plus next to her just to know that there is a difference between these with her.
And this is how we see on the S tier list.
Yeah,
those are all the S tier characters.
So this is all S tier. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So moving on to A tier now then. Who is the top of the list on A tier then?
Me and Living had a lot of discussion about this because he said he considers Shaolin top of A tier, right?
Okay.
Yep.
And like I still consider like Lawbringer to be close to that, but I'm not 100% sure. Like I'm not a big fan of putting Lawbringer on top of A tier because I still feel like not having top level offense doesn't make you that the top of A tier, the character that is like close to being an S tier character. But at the same time, if you look at Lawbringer's defense and the parry post and all he can do, like you cannot say no, and you cannot say no to the character belonging there. But Shaolin is also that kind of character that can be melted very easily by Lawbringer because one parry, Shaolin gets parried, boom, was spot the top heavy from Lawbringer and things like that. But he also has like for RMS chain lights, he has key stance, which is hard to react to. It is possible to react to key stance attacks, but it's not as easy or as hard to do compared to Raider mix-up. Like Raider mix-up is way harder to react to than Shaolin mix-up. So depending on your action time, you will be able to react to Shaolin mix-up semi-consistently, or I'm definitely not consistently because I've never seen someone reacting to Shaolin mix-up consistently. Like at some point you're gonna fall for it. And plus the the sweep is very strong. It's a very strong tool that Shaolin can use to bait out punishes to people and then enter his mix-up again. And that's a very strong tool for a character. His dodge attack also got buffed. He has way more iframes, so he can capitalize on that a lot. So even in 1v1 scenarios, iframes. Some people say that iframes don't matter a lot in 1v1s, but they actually matter a lot because having a character with iframes is a character with more opportunities to just buffer dodge attack and not caring about timing correctly your dodge attack to avoid an unblockable. Such as a Raider Zone, for example, you can just buffer dodge attack, and if you have enough iframes, you will be able to dodge it without any repercussion on yourself. So yeah, I mean, for my opinion, I think Lawbringer is still the GOAT of A tier, like the top G.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's like you said as well. This is based off if you play in the ranked Sanctuary map, right? Which is the smaller one, the smaller version. So you know, like you said, you got those walls and stuff. So that would make a big difference.
140 HP, big parry guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you agree with that, Living? You
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you would say
it is also like B has 140 HP, and as soon as he like parries like Shaolin is only 120 HP because he's a hybrid. So like he melts him completely in like one read base matchup. And if he does that twice, he can completely blow him up for that. Which Lawbringer, he can do a couple of wrong reads, and you still have a fine HP just because of that huge HP pool that he has.
Yeah, that makes sense.
you also have to remember that you can also option select with his dodge bash. His dodge bash is an option select tool, which if people don't understand what an option select is, you can on certain unblockables, or if you have the frame advantage, or you have no frame disadvantage, or like hit stun on yourself, on certain scenarios, you can buffer your dodge bash in order to avoid being being hit by the unblockable and also being GP'd out of your dodge bash. You can do the thing with Shinobi's kick on certain unblockables, depending on the hit stun, but majority of the unblockables, you can do it unless you get hit. Aramusha can do it as well. And all these kind of characters, even Meiji can do it. All characters can more or less do it. It kind of depends on the dodge tech you have or the dodge bash you have. And Lawbringer is one of the characters that fall into the category of like being able to dodge bash, buffering the dodge bash, and not being punished for for buffering it and making a read, because that's basically what you're doing. You're just making a read so that you don't get punished with insane amount of damage, because you don't want to risk trying to make a read on that unblockable. You want to just go safe. Of course, that can be punished with just fainting and with looking at the character what he's doing. Like if he's going for the the buffering option, so you can just easily punish him and bring him back into your mix-up, just like Raider can do it. He faints the unblockable dodge lights and then he backs into the mix-up. But yeah.
Okay.
It's a mix-up. It's a read you can do like that. I do it in competitive, and that works sometimes. Of course, if I just spam it like relentlessly, I will get punished every time. It's how it works. But if you know how to use it and when to use it, you're gonna be able to save yourself from very bad spots.
Okay, that's good then. So Lawbringer, the GOAT of A tier, and closely followed, would you say, by Shaolin?
He's very close. He's very close. Yeah, he's very close.
All right, cool. So who's up next then after this Shaolin?
Well, you see, I would say.
Who's it gonna be?
I think
I think
all bash. I think all bash characters are not top or mid A tier. Why?
No.
Because bash characters are bad characters, in terms of offense. Because everyone at top level, and this is top level, this is competitive, not top level matchmaking, because competitive one ones.
Yeah, people need to understand this. This is based off the top, the competitive guys.
No, this is not ranked. This is not grandmaster shit. This is competitive, like 1v1 tournaments. That those are different from GM. Or like bash characters have the problem of not having offense. Like I can play against PP. Without I can play against PP without pressing a button, just trying to react against him, and I will probably win 80% of the times, because the character has no unreactable offense or no hard to distinguish animations, and his bulwark slash is easy to react to animation. Like you don't even need parry flash, you can simply just react to it on animation. Like nothing BP can do. You simply sit there, do a little bit of academy against it, and you're able to react to it like 100% of the times. The bash, if you can react to bashes, he's like one of the easiest bash to react to. And he's kind of an empty character if you just know how to react against those two things. Like he has nothing to do. That's the main problem with this character. The same thing with Warlord. The only difference with Warlord, the only good factor that Warlord has is like he has a wall spot. This puts you out of stamina sometimes. But if you can still react to headbutts and parry lights whenever he throws lights, he's kind of left alone as well. It's like Conqueror, I think, is the only one that maybe if I want to be nice, can be considered low A tier, because he has unblockable pressure, I guess, but that unblockable pressure can be easily reacted to as well. Honestly, I thought when first the released Conqueror got released, the unblockable spam.
Yeah, everyone lost their mind when they saw that on the stream, didn't they?
Yeah, but then I I played against the character because I thought without Flash, I thought the Conqueror would be the new S tier character, but you played against him and it was the animations were really easy to distinguish. Even on broken release Conqueror version, with the heat stand that was impossible to beat. It wasn't that oppressive as a Valkyrie Renault. Even broken Conqueror would not stand a chance against Valkyrie Renault. You would get demolished.
Yeah, so his animations, you're saying, for example, if you look at Lawbringer's Unblockable, his is much tougher to deal with than a Conqueror's.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, people don't realize the difference between the Unblockables,
I mean, yeah, I understand that. I'm not saying that everyone has to be a competitive player to, if the difference with this, people need to understand, 1v1 tier list can be kind of hard to understand sometimes because it also depends on what the player is, used to. If a competitive player is used to playing against these certain characters, because the certain characters are the only characters that actually work against them or against other competitive top players, sorry. Of course, you're gonna see characters like I don't know, Warmonger, Itokiri, Tobushi, but even I don't know, Warlord, Griffin, not that high because or Centurion even Centurion. People maybe will be saying Centurion with these buffs, the level 1 puncher is not GBable, he's gonna be stronger. He's definitely stronger, but he's not he's not amazing to them. He still lacks of pressure.
Yeah,
it's easy to say. It's not hard. Also, the level 3 punch nerf was kind of hurt him a lot. Kind of a weird buff there, from Ubisoft. But I think the third best in A tier would probably be I think Zerker, because I think Zerker has. Who do you say?
Kyo.
Kyo? No, I don't think Kyo.
Kyo counters Zerker.
No, Kyo doesn't counter Zerker.
He does.
Why does he count Zerker?
How does he not?
Explain me why.
I mean, he does have his full work, right? I think you can say you can make an arguably read on him doing his soft feint lines that you can just either CC them or full block them, right?
But what if the Zerker doesn't go for the chain light? He goes for the top unblockable. What do you do afterwards?
Well, that is a read-based matchup then, right?
Yeah, but who wins the trade though? Who wins the trade? How much does the top unblockable do from Zerker? 20?
Nah.
28.
Top unblockable.
Top unblockable, I think it does 28 or 30. I don't remember correctly, but it does around
30, I believe. 30 or 32?
Around 30. Kyoshin, if he makes the right read on the full block, right? Without fits, this is without fits because it's from 1, of course. You will get around 18 damage, I think. It's 18 or 20 damage. I think it's 18 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a favorite trade for Kyoshin. I also thought that, but that's not the reality of things.
Okay. Would you say these are very close, but Zerker maybe takes the edge? Is that what you're saying?
I think Zerker has kind of a large margin against Kyoshin.
Yeah.
He has way more pressure than Kyoshin does because he also has front mass lights. Kyoshin is like a BP, but slightly worse. I don't know. It's the same thing as BP, but he has an unblockable that is kind of harder to react to, harder to react to. But the mix-up is still the same. He has a chain bash, which is 500 mass, and then he has the top dodgeable, which can be used as a tool to beat out things. But yeah, I think Zerker comes on top and is the third spot of A tier.
Okay.
Followed by Kyoshin.
All right, so Kyoshin definitely gets the 4th. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, all right, who's next up then after the Kyoshin?
Honestly,
you say first. I don't say anything now. You say first.
Honestly, put my baby boy. Put my Medjay boy.
Medjay? Okay.
My Medjay boy.
Where is he? There he is.
I was gonna put him. I was gonna put him above Zerker even, but I wanna be nice. I wanna be nice to Zerker and Kyoshin. I wanna put him below them. But I think people will still underestimate Medjay once, and I'm not gonna stop saying that. People overall. In any game mode, they just underestimate Medjay, and I'm happy about that because that means I'm happy about that because that means he's never gonna get touched because people think he's broken. in reality he's broken in terms of damage value. Like he's one of the characters that does the most amount of damage in the game, and he's like the best team fighter in the game right now. No one can match Magic in team fights right now. He's the goat of team. If you ever make a tier list for team fights, if you put Magic in S+ tier, you're not wrong. Like no one can tell you anything, because that's the reality. Like Magic is a strong as fun character. Chewy is like the best Chewy character. 44s is potentially one of the best top 4 characters, if not the top 2 character for 44s. And the 1-1s is like his 1-1 is not the best, definitely not. But it's not that shit as people may sound, may feel like.
Yeah.
Because you have 400 mass chain lights. It's true that the bash doesn't do a lot of damage. Like 9 damage is nothing, but you can make it work. Like it's not impossible to make it work, because the animation on the bash is very, very, very awful. Like everyone can agree with that. Like the animation on the bash is
it's a bit janky.
It's janky, but it has to be janky so people can react to it.
That makes sense.
I think the entire purpose of it was like we make it low damage, but we make it hard to react to, and that actually works.
I like that though. That's how it should be, really. I think, right?
Yeah, but I don't like the fact that it's 9 damage. I feel like it should be at least 11 damage. Like if you want to make it
12.
Yeah, because 9 damage is a little bit stupid, especially when you have bulk that does 20 damage with an area level bash.
That is true.
Or Tiandi even. Like Tiandi has how much? 12 damage, right? 400 mass lights.
Normal light damage.
Yeah, with 400 mass lights, it's kind of stupid. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't mind seeing. Like for Magic, I wouldn't mind seeing damage nerf from staff mod, like 2 or 4 damage nerf on chain heavies.
Yeah, just little ones, like not
like
got him into the ground, do you?
Yeah, and then a small buff on the chain lights and the bash damage in this axe mode, because it's the only 2 things he needs, and then it would be a balanced character.
Okay.
A balanced and fun character.
Hitboxes are needed for him, because if you nerf the damage too much, then he needs those hitboxes to balance that out.
All right, next up then, after the Medjay, are we still we're still in 8? Let me know if we drop down to B, by the way.
Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit more to wear. It's gonna take another few characters
before
we go below.
That's good. That's a good thing.
I think the one that comes after should definitely be Gladiator, because I feel like Glad is a character with potential. Like he doesn't have the best offense, but he's like his defense is not the worst. Also, his 500 mass toss tab is got improved. I'm happy. I'm happy about that. Like I'm happy that the offense he has now is stronger than a 600 mass chain toss tab that was completely useless. Now that the knocked off is also back, you can do naughty combos in 1-1s. You can basically get skewer into
the skewer,
into heavy, into mix up again. Even though the skewer is very easy to react to in competitive, like even without flash, because the animation is very, very generous. It literally gives you the frame by frame scan of when the character is gonna be throwing it or not, which I'm kind of not happy about it. I wish you would get some new animations of that, but that's not the point. But like I wouldn't like for the character to be better, he would need a deflect pin. Like if Gladiator ever gets a pin deflect, he would have a way easier time dealing with Magic, dealing with Zerker, dealing with Raider, dealing with any character with hyper armor. Because he has a strong deflect. Like he has a 38 damage deflect, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken. 38 damage deflect that is not confirmed on hyper armor heavies, which kinda hurts him a lot in terms of potential character, that it can go to a top 3 maybe, even if he gets like some few more changes on deflex and some other chains he needs. But he would also, I wouldn't mind having cancel recoveries on him, honestly, like some cancel recoveries on or fast flow into toast up or something. I would like to see some of that at some point in the future. But
I definitely think that would make him more fun to play as well. Like
I mean, being mid-A tier is not as bad as it sounds. Like we are still mid-A tier. You have like a little bit of characters that can outmatch you, but I mean, you consider that all the A tier characters are not strongly. How can I put it? They're not strongly disadvantage from one another. Like, I don't think Gladiator is completely dominated by Lawbringer, but of course Lawbringer has an advantage over Gladiator. But it's not that big of a disadvantage, or an advantage. It's just it kind of hurts, but that's how it is. That's what happens when you have better offense or better defense, I guess. And I think immediately after Gladiator, I would kind of put. I think I would put JJ, honestly.
JJ?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, bearing in mind as well, reminding people again, this is competitive tier list without Flash. You know, the tier list with Flash is going to look different. So just so people know, just to remind people.
Yeah. And I mean, JJ, I understand that some people don't agree with my JJ picks because, like, you know, JJ has no offense in 1v1s and shit like that. But, like, of course, the damage nerfs hurt him. Like, I was considering JJ very high A tier back before the nerfs, but now with the nerfs he got, like, he got absolutely nuked in 1v1s. But in team, like, he just got hurt in 1v1s. The rest, he's still the same. 4v4s is still the rest in 2v2s. He didn't get touched there, but damage values, they got reduced. Definitely hurt him in 1v1s.
Okay.
So he has to sit here. He has to cope with it. This is not a bad spot for him. He's not supposed to be a 1v1 character. He's supposed to be a teamfight character. And being in that position without being a 1v1 character is a very good position, no matter what. Like, there are some characters like Nobushi, for example, which are not even A tier, but they're considered team fighters, and you know, they have no 1v1 potential because they have no offense. And this is not a bad spot for JJ, and I think.
So why does he make the A tier list? The A tier then?
Well, he has. Well, the strong thing about JJ is like the fact that he can backstep heavy. Like, backstep heavy with JJ means you have hyper armor, right? And with GP changes they made, you unless you have like a tracking bash, like a PP or a Conqueror, you cannot you cannot outtrade the JJ. Because even a Raider, for example, let's say Raider goes for a zone, right? Raider goes for a zone. JJ can backstep heavy in order to even if Raider wants to try to parry the heavy after buffering the feint to the zone, he cannot because he gets max range. The heavy gets max range because of course the JJ goes behind, and the max range, that's how max range works, and that's a very strong tech to use defensively. Like, JJ is another defense character. It's like Lawbringer. He's a copy paste. Like, if you see someone that can react to your unblockable consistently, you have to use the backstep heavy. I remember when Legion, Solips, for the ones that remember the one and only, the Russian god. Like, me and him, we used to play JJ a lot, the JJ matchup a lot. He used to play JJ a lot in 1v1s, and I always remember him being like going for that backstep heavy, and I wasn't able to do anything. Like, even nowadays, like,
I remember watching those.
Except for a few characters, of course, like the STR characters, you cannot do anything as any other character that has not Valkyrie or Tiandi or Shaman or Aramusha, even Raider to a certain degree, pressure on JJ, because he can just backstep heavy, and then he also has Sifu to be extra safe if someone decides to jump on you with something. But of course, he still needs. If you want to make him stronger in 1v1s, he definitely needs more. He probably also benefit on having like a confirmed way to punish bashes, but consistent way. Sorry, because Sifu is also a way to punish bashes, but it's not a consistent because it depends on the recovery of the bash. But it kind of works against Conqueror, it kind of works against Warlord, but it doesn't work consistently against PP because it depends on the timing you Sifu. But he still has the top unblockable, which is hard to react to because the animation,
like, animation wise.
Yeah. The harder it is to react to the animation, the better the unblockable is. Like,
okay,
that's the main point of it.
All right, who's next after the JJ? Are we still in A tier?
Yes, sir. There is a little bit more characters before we get into the Fourth of the Damned.
Okay.
And then the one that comes afterwards is Zhanhu. Okay. Even though, so the paragraph, big paragraph.
Okay.
I tend to say that Zhanhu is stronger than what people believe, and I still agree with that. But with the meta that is happening in Moving Months right now, and with the changes that are being applied to characters, I feel like at some point Jianhu is gonna get into displacement again, like where he's like a mid to low A tier character. So to prevent everything, I know already that's gonna happen, and I still feel though he's a very strong 1v1 character right now. He's not the best. He's not the best for sure, but he has the offense. He has potential to be very strong in 1v1s. He needs his dodge for Devi and bash mix up to be buffed. I wouldn't mind seeing like a dodge for Devi 2GB software mix up at some point, because like he needs that. He still has the problem with like having a window where he cannot do anything. Like if you dodge in a certain window against Jianhu mix up, he cannot do anything against that, because he cannot feint into GB because it's too late. He cannot bash because his bash doesn't track. So Ubisoft probably needs to cover that if they want to see Jianhu mix up to be, stronger than what this, stronger, or like actually as strong as they want to make it believe it is,
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because the unblockable mix up, like the blockable chain, the heavy, is very strong now because of the buffs they give him. Like that's a very strong buff they give him. And I also agree with the damage of it, because of the 28 damage is okay. Like for that unblockable and for how strong it is, you cannot even dodge attack away from it. You have to cope with it. You either make a read or you make a read. Like if you cannot react against it, and I'm very happy about that. It's actually a strong unblockable. It actually works well in team fights. It works semi well in competitive 1v1s. What undodgeable?
It is undodgeable.
The unblockable.
Yeah. The
unblockable is undodgeable.
Wait, what?
Which scenario?
Is it?
Explain.
In team fights.
I'm not talking about team fights. It's super strong in team fights. I would never want to go in details, but I guess it's also undodgeable in team fights, even though it's not really undodgeable. You can still roll away from it, but you get punished with a dodge for Devi. So but Jianhu definitely sits there.
Okay, cool.
The one that comes afterwards is PK.
PK
with the PK with the recent buffs she got, dagger cancel, the recovery buffs on the dodge attacks. She has recovery cancels on, basically. She has recovery cancels after every dagger cancel or any dodge attack, basically. And her recovery is after the dodge attack buff. She doesn't really have a cancel recoveries, but they somewhat feel like a dodge recovery, but it's not. Okay, so she only got the cancel recoveries from dagger cancel, basically. So the top light bleed, and that works very well, especially against characters with characters like Orochi. So you can basically cancel recovery into deflect, and it also works very well against characters like Raider, because she can now cancel recoveries into deflect like Shaman can. And I was waiting for that buff for a long time now, because she was getting absolutely destroyed by this character. She ever went for a deflect because her recoveries were fucking absurd. Like she had millions of MS of recoveries in front of her. Like Raider will demolish her, Magi will demolish her, Zerker will demolish her. I mean, Zerker will still demolish her because the recoveries, the chain heavies of Zerker are faster than Raiders and Magis. So, Zerker still can chain heavy safely against PK and not be punished if PK goes for the first deflect. But I know. This is a good spot for PK, especially because the last plane span she got, she was like bottom of A tier. But with these buffs, I think she went up a few spots, and well-deserved changes. And I hope to see more in the future, because I think PK has big potential to be a very strong character if they actually give her proper offense. And this is it for PK, honestly.
All right, cool.
The one coming afterwards is I don't know if I want to put Orochi or Conqueror. Like I don't know if I want to give Conqueror the honor to be above Orochi, but I think I might. I'll probably leaving any year up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's Levin's thoughts on who's next as well?
What about Shimbo?
Do we count Shimbo is banned from competitive? He's banned competitive. I don't want to count characters as banned competitive.
Yeah, this is the competitive tier list. Are we just saying he's banned then on this one?
Yeah. For those who don't know, Shinobi is banned because he just he breaks the rules of the game. He breaks the game. He has a tier 2 the shuriken that he has. He's basically called a shotgun because he can shotgun someone. He can hard roll someone with that tier 2 only. By if someone basically GBs into Shinobi while he's throwing his tier 2, he gets one shotted. There is nothing he can do. It's 120 damage. You cannot do anything about that. The only way to the only way to counter it is to sit still and wait for him to actually use it. That's the only way you can actually counter it, and that's game breaking and insane, not fun to play against. Needless to say that his gank is still way too strong. Like he picks up his way too, so his deflect is way too strong. He has a double dodge, which should probably be removed from the game. Double dodging is a mechanic that doesn't, it is not a healthy mechanic for the game. In my opinion, it kind of breaks some things. Undodgeable properties gets broken by that, because undodgeable are supposed to be undodgeable. If you dodge, you get punished. But Shinobi breaks the rules of that as well, and that's not a good thing to see. Especially with the changes they want to do with the dodges. With the guard disappearing on dodges. I don't like seeing a character such as Shinobi that has his own rule set and breaks the rules again, even after a TG of that. You cannot break the rules multiple times and get away with it. You deserve to be banned, and you deserve to be fucking ashamed. Shame yourself. Shame.
All right.
So, I feel like I'll put Orochi above Conqueror though, because I feel like Orochi's unblockable is harder to react to than Conqueror's overall mix-up. But I can see people saying how Conqueror is stronger because X, Y, and Z. But I don't see the pressure that Conqueror can give to any character with the kind of offense he has. Maybe with the Chain Bash. The Chain Bash is the only way you can actually play offense. What?
Let's say, for example, you parry the Zubi, right? Like Orochi Zubi.
Yes.
Kong gets the most damage he gets out of it is not
13.
the bash, It is the zone he gets off the parry. And
how much
from
is
that
it? 12
zone,
or
no more. I think 15. Zone is 15 damage into Chain Bash offense, which is unreactable. So I guess you could consider Kong being better if your defense is on point.
That's a good point.
Because then he has unreactable offense against reactable offense, which is going to be a factor that you have to keep in mind for that.
Yeah, but that the problem with that dash is like it is punishable very hard, because you get punished with the GB. You basically lose the trade at that point. But you can also get it's a mix up. It's a 50-50.
It's a hard read.
It's
a very hard read.
But you have to how do you put it then? Like, you cannot say that the Conqueror wins because he has a 50-50 at that point, because the 50-50 is like you either get it right or you get it wrong. It's like a coin flip. It's like Borden, that's why I don't consider Borden very, very strong, because it's a coin flip every time, and you can lose the coin flip very easily. You just need to fucking get cross 3 times and you lose, and it's nothing you can do. You kind of have to cope with it. And that's why I feel like Orochi is slightly better, because even if Orochi lands the unblockable, right? He lands one unblockable and he misses one. He gets he gets punished with the zone. Conqueror lands the unblockable. Okay. He lands the unblockable after the unreactable bash. He's still in disadvantage because he got 15 damage from the zone, 13 damage from the chain heavy after the bash, of course, and he's at 28 damage. Orochi's at 30. You still win the trade if you land one unblockable. So like in the end, Orochi wins because of damage. I think Conqueror though has a 10 HP more than Orochi. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Orochi has like how much? 120, and Kong has 140, right?
Does Conqueror have 140?
Oh, is it?
Kong is a heavy. Heavies always have 140.
Then you should probably have 140, yeah. But I mean, if we start also analyzing the 140,
it is gonna be so specific, like.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be accounted that, of course, a character with 200 HP as a character with 200 HP. But sometimes having that 1 bar worth of damage, it's not as important as not having no offense at all. You can also have 300 HP, but you have no offense. How the fuck are you supposed to, kill someone?
How about you say they're both equal good?
Both equal good.
Yeah. How about that?
Yes, it's very close between the two.
Because
I guess
it's so close and we're going so specific in here that you could possibly say that both equal the same good.
I guess we can do that. Yeah, why not?
Okay. Yeah, but just for the people watching, they know that these two are very close, pretty much level. So just for the people watching, at least they know that. So
What do you think, Living? Is it time to go to further damned?
This
are we going to be?
Yep.
All right.
Alright.
That's a pretty nice, healthy A tier list there, though, man. It's good.
Oh, yeah, there used to be way more, but you know,
Things change.
the two of them went up very high.
Yep. And absolutely stumped everybody else. So all of them go down.
Right.
So,
who is
top of
the
B
cream
tier.
of the crop of B? Yeah.
So I used to, I mean, before all of this shit show, you know, before all the buffs and nerfs and buffs, all the characters got. Kensei used to be top of B
Okay.
because of his unblockable buff. You know, his unblockable got buffed. His
into
pressure
GB.
yeah.
Yeah.
You were not able to just easily avoid it anymore. You had to actually proper make a read on it or just react to it. And I still consider him very strong, but you know, I still feel like there are characters that are way better than him, such as Shugoki. Even though Shugoki is like in the worst place he's ever been. Yes, yeah, I think
Really?
still I can't say yes. I think he's still one of the top B characters. I would say he's very close to Warmonger to a certain degree, because Warmonger is, of course, a 50-50 character. I mean, a 50-50. He's like a read-based character, okay?
Yeah.
Because it's not a proper 50-50, because you have 33, then turns into 20. It's like all these numbers, but it's not a 50-50. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just two choices you can make. There you have multiple choices you have to make. But, you know, between Warmonger and Shugoki, it is like a kind of a weird matchup to have, because if Shugoki makes a right read, right, he gets a demon ball, potentially even a hug, and gets a health swing, which is good for him. Warmonger gets one parry, he gets a very good health swing with the impale, and the impale, you know, it travels very much. You know, it travels for like 3/4 of map, so you basically get an impale every time you get 3/4. If you're not like if your enemy is not exactly you know, if you're not behind if you don't have a wall behind yourself, okay, and you impale someone, you'll 100% get the impale every time. But if you have a wall behind you with Warmonger and you impale someone, you'll never get it if you're working in a straight line, of course.
Yeah.
If you're diagonal, you're always gonna get them, of course. And since they also buffed the impale, so they now stacks with the, you know, the more impales you get, the more it stacks. I feel like Warmonger's defense got buffed very heavily, and I still feel like she's better than Shugoki in terms of offense, because she can actually press more buttons than Shugoki can.
Yeah.
But the problem with that, like, the buttons she can press are a 50, like, you know, a read. Okay, I'm gonna have to use the fucking Reddit vocabulary. But it's a read, basically. It's a read. And you know, reads can be good, reads can be bad. You can get punished very heavily, you can be punished very, you know, you can be rewarded very good. So it's kind of an even matchup as well. Like, I am not a big fan of this kind of characters in terms of offense, like, you know, Warmonger, Warden, this kind of Centurion even, because they're way too much based on reads, and they get punished very heavily and rewarded sometimes very, you know, not very much, because the damage output they do compared to the damage they take, it's not a good trade, basically. It's not a good trade to get. Like, you know, it's not a good risk reward situation, basically. So I would say, like, a Warmonger Shugoki matchup would be an even matchup, and those two characters are probably contesting themselves the top of B tier spot. So it kind of depends.
Okay.
So I think Living will agree with me at this point.
Yep.
So yeah, I think these two characters kind of take the bad B tier spot.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Who's up after that then? You was just talking about Kensei.
Yeah, I think Kensei gets below these two boys.
Yeah. I thought so too.
Yeah.
So yeah, talk a little bit about Kensei then.
Well, I mean, you got a few buffs with the skin release. He got like his unblockable sped up, his pummel strike, his top heavy sped up, which means his pummel strike will come slightly faster than normal. He still lacks a lot of things, of course. He still lacks of good recoveries. He still lacks of proper. He lacks of things. Okay, he has the bases, but I don't know. He lacks of that little twist that he needs. Like I don't know how to say. Like he's top heavy into side heavy mix up. Okay, it is a good idea, but it doesn't work on paper because of course you have people that can just dodge with their guard in one direction and they don't get punished anywhere. Okay, it's kind of hard to punish those people. Like he's a good design character. Like I like. He also is able to option select top heavy indicators or like top indicators no matter what, unless they're unblockables, by just dodge forwarding. If he just dodge forwards, he can superior block with a GB. Of course, he gets a guaranteed GB into worst plot potentially.
Yeah.
And that's a very strong thing. It's a very strong option select.
How much damage is the wall splat unblockable?
34, I think it is now.
34,
or 32.
Yeah.
It's a lot of damage. He definitely can melt a lot of people if you get it like 2 or 3 times. It's very strong. But he's missing things. I think everyone can agree that Kansai needs some buffs. He's not able to punish bashes, of course. Like not being able to punish bashes is a very bad thing for a character. Like you're lacking of potential damage that you can do to a certain character. In fact, a majority of the B tier characters cannot punish bashes at all.
Yeah, he was putting B tier in the 4v4 tier list as well. So yeah, he definitely needs some.
Yeah, like he definitely needs maybe his dodge attack sped up, or maybe some bashes to be nerfed in order to be slightly better. But he doesn't. He cannot go through the border of B tier because of these reasons.
Okay.
But I think the one coming afterwards should be Warlord. Warlord for the reasons I explained. I think Warlord, BP, these kind of characters belong all around here.
Yeah, like you said, being able to knock people out of stamina sometimes when you get the GB wall splat.
Yeah, that's why I think Warlord is slightly better than BP. But they also still lack of basic basic stuff, like having a proper offense. They both don't have offense at top level. Like
it's very basic, isn't it?
If you ever seen like a warlord playing like a top level warlord playing against a top level reactor, the top level reactor can literally just sit there with a character that can punish bashes and just kill you without even needing to apply pressure on you, because you cannot apply pressure on him. So it's kind of if you press buttons you die. If he presses buttons you might die anyway, because you have to defend yourself, and if you fuck up you basically get punished.
You saying that is like the majority of casual players like myself hearing that is quite a shock, really, because so many people struggle with Warlord at a lower level or more casual level.
I mean, I'm not surprised though, because most of the characters that are B tier are quote unquote noob stompers.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they have those moves, they can be repeated consistently, like such as pirate plank can be repeated consistently. And people don't know how to make reads or don't know how to carton certain moves at certain points. They don't know the weaknesses of those moves, so they kind of struggle to get through it, and for that they lose rounds, they lose matches, they get tilted, and the more they tilt, the more bad reads they make, and that's basically the story. That's a cycle, just basically a cycle that repeats himself every time. But the problem with Warlord is he lacks of offense. I guess as that is very strict as a thing to say, but that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean I agreed with that as well, definitely.
Yeah, I think we can put the same level also, Warden. We can put the same level BP and Griffin. I like because
so all these pretty much tied to the same level-ish.
Like the only character that maybe some people would not agree with me. I think some people would rate Warden better than what I do. But the placement of Warden there, as you see, is B tier. Basically almost mid B tier. he's a mediocre character. He's a mid character. He's not better. He's not worse. He's a coin flip. He can be S tier. He can be D tier, depending on it's way too much dependent on if you flip the coin, you get the right read or not, and that's not good at the top level because you're basically risking everything and you can lose everything or get everything, but majority of the times you lose everything, and at that point it's not worth it, especially because to enter your flip coin you have to dodge. And
that's it. Yeah, he's so interruptible into me as a warden main. I find that I get interrupted so much trying to go into my offense and stuff like that. And without his shoulder bash, what does he have?
I wouldn't mind having his shoulder bash being from like a back dodge input, back bash input, like Griffin old bash, Tiandi old bash, those kind of bashes.
I agree.
That would be benefit more than a lot because you wouldn't, people wouldn't be able to punish you with a light on dodge and just simply react to that. You have to make double the reads. Double the amount of reads to punish someone, so you can do it from neutral, and then of course you'll have to adjust a little bit the timings because having a 400 mass bash coming out from neutral, it's kind of scary. But adjusting a little bit the timings, make it a little bit more, and I mean of course not reactable because it has to still be reactable, but adjusting a little bit timing so it doesn't become too oppressive would be a good way to buff Warden and potentially making him maybe an 8-tier character if you give him the right buffs.
Yeah.
But it's gonna take time for this character to see the lights.
He's my boy, man. I feel sad. He's my boy. I hope he gets some love this year. Seriously, hope he gets some love.
Hopefully.
He's the poster boy of For Honor, isn't he? He's the face of. Give him some love, man. Come on, Ubisoft.
Him and Roach, dude. They both get nuked.
Yeah. All right.
So the character that comes afterwards, even though he got buffs, he got some very good buffs actually, because the buffs he got were kind of strong and kind of shit at the same time. His level 3 is unusable now. No matter the situation, you cannot use it anymore. His level 1 punch is stronger, but it's a level 1 punch. He can be dangerous. He cannot be dangerous. The boy is Centurion, the Roman boy.
Yeah.
He at top level, he has the same issues as he always had. Of course, without flash, he started to react
animation
to different timings, different variable timing heavies, because his animations, of course, is way clunkier than Hitokiri's chargeable heavies. But he has the only way to enter his offense is through those heavies. I remember when I played against Silencer was able to react to those heavies consistently, even without flash, and that is one of the problems with Centurion. The only problem with Centurion that he has now, they added the fact that you can chain after whiff. It's a good thing. The problem is, how are you going to capitalize on that? You can't really capitalize on that. That's a problem we have with the character. You cannot capitalize on certain moves because the range, because of distance, because people can just light you out of your punch at that point, and then you have to make a read on a read on a read. And I already expressed my opinion about characters having to make a read before another read they have to make 2-line damage. And it's not very good in terms of offense at top level, because you're basically putting yourself in a disadvantage, because the guy that you're facing has to make one good read before you actually are dangerous for him, and you have to make 2 or even 3 good reads depending on the character you're playing before being a threat to the guy you're facing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, and I guess the one that comes afterwards is Hitokiri. Hitokiri comes definitely after Centurion.
Yeah, I know for a fact there's going to be people watching this now and thinking, how the hell is Pirate not even been chosen yet? But I know you'll get to it. But
Pirate has a special place in my heart.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, Hitokiri, very simple, easy to react to. Chain heavy, as I said, variable timing heavies are easier to react to than Centurion heavies, because of course the animation is way more it's way more how do I put it in a nice way without saying it's shit. I'll put it in a nice way. Is very well animated. Okay, it's very well animated. So well animated that it's very easy to react to, no matter what. If you have flash on, if you have the UI on, no matter what, you're still gonna be able to react to Hitokiri's variable heavies on even on white, even on the white of hyper armor. You can
Yeah.
you simply just look at the white of hyper armor, you're gonna be able to react to that consistently. Like
Okay.
only the unblockable, of course, the unblockable comes, the hyper armor comes a little bit before the release, so you actually have to react to animations, but the animations are, are very obvious. So, and also a reminder that the kick mix-up is reactable if you don't max delay the kick. So Itokiri needs to max delay the kick in order to having a completely unreactable mix-up, and she also cannot punish bashes like any other character after Shugoki.
Okay.
No one of those can punish bashes. Oh, sorry, Warden is the exception. Sorry, that's but again, like 50-50 character, so he stands still. And I think Hitokiri closes the B tier list.
With Kira?
Because I think all the rest of the characters are gonna be naughty in terms of placement, because C tier is like already bad, very bad.
Right.
So, well, in my last 1v1 tier list, I placed Pirate at top of C, Valkyrie after Pirate, and then I placed Highlander and Nusha.
Okay.
This time, Pirate got nerfed, Valkyrie got reworked, and she's on top of
she's
top
a
of
good
everyone.
goal.
She has sent it from C to S tier, S plus tier.
Crazy,
So,
man.
very strong. I mean, she basically did what Shorin did, from D tier to A or S tier, certain scenarios. So yeah, very strong. And I think the C tier character and the true C tier characters, so the only true C tier characters, are Highlander, for sure.
Okay.
I'm trying. No, actually, Living helped me. Should have put should have put Nobushi in D tier as well, or
No, I don't think so because of her opinion on that stuff.
okay, never mind then. I put 3 characters in C tier. I'm being nice. It's Christmas for everyone, I guess. So I guess Highlander is like Living. I need your up again.
Mm-hmm.
Should I put? I think Nusha is better than Highlander. Actually.
I think Nusha's better than Highlander.
400 MS lights.
Yeah, I mean, this is where it flashed, obviously.
Also, he does have though.
Yes, but he has to enter, his shitty stance, and Nusha
Extra
has
blood gaming.
Shit stance.
It is weird to play. I think Highlander is one of those characters, like people say it's very complex, but in reality it's just very shit, and people make it look like it's complex. But or if you know how to play the game, if you put enough effort, even with you can easily play a bash character, and Highlander cannot do anything with this backstep light, because you can literally just see backstep light, you bash, and he's dead. Like, you cannot do shit. Like GG.
Yeah.
And since he's like Celtic, his Dutch deck he cannot punish bashes. I cannot punish bashes. Like
Highlander?
Yeah.
I think he can.
No, I don't think you can, because I tried and you cannot.
Pretty slow, isn't it? Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 300 and 500 as well, so you cannot.
Hmm.
But yeah, like the whole point of it is like between those 2 characters, I think is kind of a close matchup, I guess. Even though I feel like Nusha comes out on top a little bit, because she has an easier time entering her 400 MS lights. But remember, these 2 characters both have very, very awkward offense. Like they don't expect to be able to do a lot against the top level players with this kind of characters, because they lack of pressure, they lack of basic pressure. Nobushi goes back to C tier.
Okay.
Because I think I had a lot of expectation for Nobushi. I thought she was gonna be very strong with the defense she had. But it turns out that it's just not being used to the character yet, and people were just spamming left and right defense tools, and you had to just sit still and wait for her to finish her spamming of defense, because Bush is very strong defensively, but she has nothing else. Like, her offense is completely awful, and she's very strong in console, because console has, of course, 30 FPS or like a lot of input delay, so it's kind of hard to react to her undodgeable and kick offense, more or less, I guess. Even though I know already people are gonna say I'm able to react to that shit, quote unquote, but she's definitely not strong in Y1s at top level without flash. And then D tier.
Okay.
D tier, I would say, without a doubt, the Pirate is better than Yorm still, but not for long.
Yeah, not for long, no, that's for sure.
Not for long.
It's going to be interesting to see what they change if they change anything, you know. Sure they will.
I mean, I hope they change something, dude. I don't want to have another plus tier character.
Fucking tell me about it, man.
But yeah, like, I mean, Pirate is. I know already people are gonna say, well, Pirate is fucking
people. That's it. People are gonna look at the screenshot of this and just fucking lose the shit, man.
I mean, it's Pirate is noob stomper. Like, even with these nerfs, she's like a balance against randoms. Like, people cannot do with Pirate still, and I can't fucking believe it. It's so sad. It's so sad to see, because how do you know? Like, how can you deal with such a simple character? She had nothing anymore. What do you want to remove? If you remove, she has 12 damage dodge for Debbie. That is basically 17 with the pistol shot, but you basically have a not. If you get the pistol shot,
disadvantage.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't have a mix-up afterwards. You basically get lighted of your mix-up. So like, what do you do with
no damage? No damage for
bad.
Nothing, basically, in the end result.
Yeah. She has nothing to do anymore. If you like, I'm expecting another nerf for Pirate. They either remove the hyper armor on dash for Devi, or they nerf the cancer recoveries, which was the main thing they had to nerf from the beginning, but they didn't do it.
Okay.
So they just kept on nerfing her, the wrong nerfs, and I know already she's gonna receive the Shugoki last treatment. But Shugoki, as you can see, Shugoki is still like a mid. He's still like a top of B tier, so he's like he quote unquote got saved. But Pirate, I guess, doesn't deserve a second chance, and she has to sit there and die.
Yeah, I mean, do you stream Living? I know you stream Living, but do you
I do very, very, very rarely.
That's what I mean. I have seen you live sometimes, but I don't know if you have like a schedule or if you do it as much as Antonio.
Nah, not as much.
No.
I do it sometimes, like on tourney days or something, but not that quite regularly.
Yeah. All right then. Well, even still, people can drop you a follow, because they can catch you if you do go live anytime when Antonio forces you to. People can check you out and watch you. Yeah. And you're both on the same team as well, right? The comp team, Minimeisters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
we're the best team in the game. We are undefeated in 4v4 still. We are the most successful team in the past year, and probably with the upcoming year. And we're looking forward for any official tournament coming up to destroy everyone again. As always.
So I'll leave both your Twitch links in the description and on screen as well. People can go and check you out, and if they have any doubts of this tier list, they can go and fucking watch you from themselves and see that you know what you're talking about. So yeah, nice one. Thanks for your time, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Nice one.